Our problem has been, as black people, we've always been concerned about white America, never about us. And what we've always thought is that white America equal the same interest as us. That is not true.
I tell you, I'm a man who believed that I died 20 years ago. And I live like a man who is dead already. I have no fear whatsoever of anybody or anything.
We have never spoken English perfectly. And that is because our people constantly resisted a language that did not belong to us. Never did, never will. Anyhow, they try to run it down our throats. We ain't gonna have it. We ain't gonna have it. You must understand that as a level of resistance. Anybody can speak that simple Hunky's language correctly. Anybody can do it. We have not done it because we have resisted. We have resisted by any means necessary.
"1960 was the year of radical revolution and change. Hi, I'm Dr. Yetunde Bates, and this is Hidden Revolutionaries, a documentary on the Black arts movement. In this documentary, we'll interview hidden revolutionaries during this time. We'll also examine black theater artists such as Amiri Baraka and Ed Bullins. Join us as we unveil these revolutionaries of American history. We first contacted former activist Ron Biaka-Patuka, also known as Ron the Chujiro. Ron has been at this youth center for the past 15 years educating today's young youth. We sat down with Ron the Chujiro to talk about the playwrights of the Black arts movement era.
Baraka. Well, he was crazy. But he was a good type of crazy, though. Revolutionary. He was a man that was inspired by all types of revolutions that was going on during the 60s. You know, the Cuban Revolution, the Greensboro Four, Robert Williams of the NAACP, who was originally kicked out for wanting to do something about the Ku Klux Klan that was attacking the black people. You know, Baraka really thought that was very inspirational to him. You know, he was the type of man who really did not understood the non-violence approach, and at the same time neither did I, and I understood him for that. I mean, it wasn't until later on, I know when Malcolm X died, that things really took off for him. I mean, him, Larry Neal, Clarence Franklin, a bunch of other guys, they got in together to form the theater, the Black Arts Repertoire Theater, you know, school, and they pretty much did their own thing. They were inspired to show black lifestyle at its purest. You know, they didn't care about commercialism of all of that other crap. They really just want something for ourselves as black people. You know, we just wanted to live up to our own standards. You know, I mean, we didn't want to, we as black people, we didn't want to follow other people's standards, and particularly people that treat us like crap. I mean, who are they? And this is the way that Baraka thought. I mean, his play The Dutchman, fine example. You know, and who's fitting than a white woman to tell a black man, you know, how to be who he is and things like that. You know, and I guess through that play, my good friend Ed Bullins was inspired by that play to continue to write also. But except for writing for political reasons, Ed Bullins has had wanted to write for the entire culture in general. You know, although at the time he was a member of the Black Panthers, you know, he had to keep writing plays for the, you know, radical plays for the other members of the Black Panthers. But evidently he was able to venture out and travel and explore and study Black life, Black experience, and things like that. You know, he was a very good dramaturg, by the way, and also, you know, was a dramaturg for the Lafayette Theater also. But Ed Bullins, he was the type of man that told it how it was. You know, I mean, his play has a lot of, you know, he grew up around a lot of, he grew up seeing, had Black people told him straight up, you know, about how life was in the streets for Black people, and that's how he wrote his plays. You know, he wrote his plays based on what he saw, his experience, what he studied in everyday African American culture. So I guess, you know, between you and me, they couldn't really lock him up for that, right? If it was real, it was really happened. He wasn't trying to change somebody's minds. He was just telling it how it is, you know. Yeah, he believed that plays should be used for social events, social advancement in society and things like that. Yeah, pretty much it.
What do you have to say to the young people of today?
Our grandfathers had to run all their lives. My generation was out of breath, and we stood up and we screamed out loud. We ain't running no more. All I am waiting for is this young generation to stand up and scream out loud at the top of their lungs. I'm tired. I had enough. Let's unite and do for ourselves. Get rid of that idea that everything's about me. It's not. Stand up. Work together. Unite. That's all.
Well, we thank you for your time, Mr. Biaka Batuka. We
sorry.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
No problem. Thank you for coming
Keep up
this
the good
week.
work.
Yes.
I'm proud to see you
Thank you.
represent.
Thank you. As stated in the previous interview with Ron the Chujiro, Baraka was inspired by certain events in the 1960s, such as the sit-in movement in Greensboro, North Carolina, excommunicated member of the NAACP Robert Williams, and the assassination of leader Malcolm X. These events inspired Baraka to start the Black Arts Movement, and his 1964 play The Dutchman was a product of this movement. This play had social statements and lively images to convey the Black reality of today. He used absurdist theater techniques to convey his message throughout the play. This play has become a literary canon in the world of theater and English today. Now, we go over to Helene Winfrey, Black arts educator, to interview her on more of Baraka and Bullin's views. We spoke with Helene Winfrey, a Black arts educator and professor at a prestigious higher education university. She took time out of her busy schedule to talk to us about the work of Baraka and Bullins and the world of the play and how it impacted its audiences.
Right. So, The Dutchman. It's an interesting play because you see so many factors that have been placed into just this small piece. It's so short, but in a short amount of time, we get exactly where Mira's coming from. You know what I mean? Right on. You know, just right on, brother. Right on. And there's, as far as the cultural themes, you know, there's social relationships like interaction, the interracism, The formulation of the black aesthetic, we see it here most prominent almost. And as far as the social factors, you have the ideas of liberation, the formulation of new relationships outside of the interracial relationships, but relationships that can be established throughout other people that are in the setting. The play is actually set on a train, which another thing that I found, very interesting, the fact that Amir Baraka took the effort to make this play set in a point that is like the focal point of a large urban city. You know what I mean? You have everybody that takes the subway, everybody comes onto the tracks, and he uses this device to show domestic violence. He shows us the degradation of the black man. All of this happens on this one train with this white woman. We see the white woman come in and tell the black man what the black woman has been trying to tell him all along. Whose standard are you living to? Whose standard are you living for? What are you trying to achieve here? You know what I mean? Why are you walking around with this tie on? That's not your tie. Ain't a nigga in Africa wearing a tie. And that's pretty much what Amir was trying to say in The Dutchman, and I just found it so compelling.
We later asked Miss Winfrey to elaborate more on Ed Bullins and his plays and how they were a part of the Black Arts movement.
The thing about Ed Bullins is his work was complex, but so simple. And I believe all of his plays were like that. And it's noted that, there's not a large set. There's usually not many people in the plays, but the message is so profound regardless. And that's the thing about Ed Bullins as a revolutionist. His message was, from a playwright's point of view, he wasn't out in the open, he wasn't in your face, but he used his work and allowed it to speak for him. And so with the text, Are You Gonna Let Me Take You Out Tonight, we have a man, who's the main character, who's on the phone with a woman majority of the time, and later on he gets a call from another woman, and the context of it is basically the use of language. We see how the black man spoke, how the black man embodied himself, the way he walked, the way he talked, the way he carried himself, and the way he interacted with the female counterparts. You know what I mean? So profound, so profound. Not much, but so much, so much.
We asked Miss Winfrey what she would like to say to the young people of today.
Just let them know if it's something out there that you want, you go out there and get it by any means necessary.
Thank you so much for your time, Mrs. Smith. We always appreciate it.
And you know it. Right on.
That was a great interview with scholar Helene Winfrey. Now, to elaborate a little bit more on the dramatic text of dramaturge and playwright Ed Bullins, we see that his text is very natural, and it appeals to the black aesthetic because it displays its natural language. Now, a lot of critics thought that his work was very obscene because of its raw text and it being so straight to the point. And because of the critics' views, he had to find a lot of available spaces such as coffee houses and pubs to perform his plays. Now, to get a little bit more of an insight on what was going on with the world of the audience during the Black Arts movement and how they were influenced by these plays, we interviewed a certain revolutionary who is now incarcerated, but we had to go in the prison and we could not tell you where this prison is. It's a disclosed location, but we got exclusive special permission to view this revolutionary.
We met with Hassan Jabbar Hattu, who's been incarcerated for the past 10 years. He currently awaits death row for an alleged murder which he did not commit.
They got me down here. Free my people. Free my people of artistic bondage, oppression, opportunities for success in this white man's society. strip us of our froze, de-niggerize the Negro. That's what they wanted. This wasn't some damn stylistic fashion statement. It was a unification of our people, an exterior expression of our roots, a direct identity to our culture. During the 60s, we was radicals, baby. But what is black was the question that lingered oftentimes in the community, based off of different definitions of people within our own culture. It was for years to put our reality on stage in the world of the audience. We use theater as inspiration. When we go to shows, we go out after we leave the shows inspired and ready to evoke change in the communities. That's what the world of the audience was about during the 60s. Revolutionaries, visionaries, leaders. We was ready to inspire. In the world of the audience, everything that we seen on stage urged us to go out into the streets and the communities and better it every time. Well, what is black? Huh? It was a question that lingered through the atmosphere during the 60s. Everybody had a different definition within our own culture. Well, black is first knowing you're black and then doing something about it and with it. And that's what we did. Revolutionaries, visionaries, leaders. The theater was just a playing ground for our reality. We use theater to inspire. And when we leave them plays, that audience is going out to the community and evoking change for the betterment of our people.
Is there anything you have to say to the young people of today?
Stand up! Stand up for your rights! Make a change! Make a change! Make a change.
Thank you, my brother.
We interviewed revolutionaries of the Black Arts Movement, and we got an in-depth view on how they impacted this movement in the 1960s. Now, the question is, what are you going to do to start a new revolution? Because sitting on your ass is pretty easy. I'm Dr. Yetunde Bates. Solid. I'm out.